What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So today we're going to be taking a look at some things surrounding Gotham Knights. Many of you already know the Batgirl character trailer was revealed and a lot of people are really excited about the game. Now, there is something we have to clear up nonetheless. I try my best to be as clear as I possibly can on the subjects on this channel, even if I have to do a follow-up video surrounding it. So just recently, I made a video that talked about all of the cinematics. It talked about the moves and the abilities that Batgirl has. We broke it down frame by frame, and I showcased how they actually capture some of this footage within the engine. Because for those of you who were paying attention, you remember that at the beginning of this trailer, they actually put a disclaimer on the front by saying that this is actually footage captured in engine, and it contains gameplay and custom cutscenes. You can look at the bottom of the screen as I'm saying it. It's right there. So I, in that video, showed how this is done by using an example that was shown in real time from Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. This was done in 2016 at a game developers conference that just showcased the power of Unreal Engine cinematic capabilities. Now, still within our community, there are some that are still skeptic. In fact, I saw a comment that said this game is going to need more than some character trailer to convince people. We need gameplay that's unedited, that's not necessarily, in a place where we're just seeing these different action scenes that are cut together. And I definitely understand. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to clear that up to see, because I believe that this particular concern is coming from where we got to see the Red Hood gameplay. It didn't seem fluid. If you notice, a lot of what he was doing seemed kind of janky. Now, most of us, we kind of chalked it up to the possibility that it seemed the person controlling the character did not necessarily know how to make the character fluid, or maybe the developers actually need to go back and do more work. In fact, if you haven't seen one of my most viewed Gotham Knights video, it's titled Gotham Knights Need a Lot of Work. You can go watch it. I'll probably leave it in a comment section where I actually go ahead and go deep down into this particular video and talk about some of the problems that I got to see. In fact, one of my biggest problems were the frame drops. Like whenever these visual effects came into play in the picture, the frames dropped so hard, it was insane. And whoever was playing against this Talon and some of the enemies in this particular dungeon just did not seem to understand how to make the character seem fluid. It could also be, God forbid, that this is how the character plays, and the developers really need to tweak that. Now, let's go to Batgirl, because that's the subject of our conversation. Were her gameplay edits actually out of place? And does she really need more gameplay, unedited gameplay, to convince people as to how the character is going to play? To that, I answer, actually, no, because we already have gameplay for Batgirl. In fact, we had gameplay for Batgirl 2 years ago, which was, even though it was pre-alpha footage, was in the game. Now, the reason I say this is because as this footage starts to play, Patrick Redding is actually giving a narrative. Now, if this is true or not, you'd have to take it up with Patrick Redding when the game releases. But here are the words that he mentions here, and I'm going to paraphrase. He mentions that he's going to do a walkthrough with Batgirl, and she is somewhere around a dozen or so hours into her progression, and she's going to be playing one of the villain missions. So if you look at the world, the clues are already there. The world is freezing over. We know the Batman rogue, or the enemy of Batman, or I would say frenemy sometimes, that usually freezes the world over, and that's Mr. Freeze. So you see a lot of these explosions happening. You see lightning because the weather is being transformed by some weird alchemy, because Victor is pretty smart and apparently can do stuff like that. And you see Batgirl pretty much run through this mission from where she's driving down the road or riding down the road, and Robin joins her. This is the gameplay that you're going to get in Gotham Knights. I can put maybe 50 cents on it that this mission is in the game. Now, the quality, maybe the visuals, the lighting, a few things may change, but if you're looking for uncut gameplay for Batgirl, it's right here. And I'm shocked or surprised why this was kind of missed by a lot of people who've been saying this. But at the same time, I don't blame them, because this was given to us 2 years ago. And since then, or almost 2 years ago, and since then, we haven't necessarily seen anything. Now, in this particular trailer, I have to be really frank, because I've watched it probably maybe going on 100 times. I guess that's my estimate. There is one place where they did a little cut, but it was where she was walking. And at that point, Robin had just joined her. That was all it was. But if you were wondering how the combat was going to look, if you were wondering how she was going to be approaching bad guys, moving from one enemy to the other, you got to see it here. You got to see her, special takedowns, and you got to see that she could actually chain a whole bunch of stuff. We've gotten to see this with her. We got to see it even with Robin. If you guys remember, there was that little tiny itsy bitsy gameplay they put for Robin on Twitter that was just kind of low quality gameplay. Seemed like something that they had purposefully rendered at that frame rate just to be able to kind of put it out there. And you saw Robin take on a few bad guys. Here, you can even see the cutscene with her talking with, or the short, conversation with her and Renee Montoya, and then them helping to open up that little crevice so that she can make her way into the Wayne Manor mansion. This is all available for everyone to see, and I'm shocked that many people, because they saw the character reveal, won't do that. Now, there's the cut. I mean, if you were paying attention to the screen, you probably just saw it. She's walking down as she grapples up this particular place, and then they just make this one cut where all it is Robin is now joining her. So she's trying to make her way into Wayne Manor. That's the only cut that's in this gameplay. So for those who see this gameplay and say, well, I need more, you're not going to get more that's really that different from this. This is the game. So if you don't want to buy the game, this should be where you're convinced that I don't want to have anything to do with Gotham Knights as a game. And if you even go back and say, well, maybe I want to see another character in action. Well, we got to see another character in action. We got to see, Red Hood and Nightwing actually go that route in order for them to be able to, go ahead and just show us something that they had. So to me, I'm strongly in a position where I think we've already gotten a lot of information surrounding Gotham Knights. There's no doubt about it. I think a lot of people are probably, in a sense, maybe ignoring the information just so that they can sound somewhat controversial about what's going on. I don't necessarily think that they're being honest with us in some cases. Maybe in some cases they don't know, but at the end of the day, you either know or you don't care to know. There is gameplay for Batgirl uncut, as you were requesting. It's just that these character trailers probably, in a sense, seem to have gotten a lot of excitement. And sometimes when people get excited about the game Gotham Knights, it really maybe sends a message to, other parties that people are trying to get deceived or whatever it is. This is the Gotham Knights game that you're getting. So choose your price as to how it is that you're going to go ahead and engage this game. So what I'm going to do for this particular video is, at the end of the video, I'm going to let that gameplay trailer from 2020 play from start to end so that you can see for yourself, and I'm going to get off the comms. Thanks for watching the video. I really do appreciate you guys so much. Hopefully we'll talk very soon in another video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Peace out.
Got about a dozen people frozen here. Need paramedics ASAP. All units, shootout in progress at Elliott Center.
Multiple accidents. Too many. We can't respond to them all. Where the hell is our backup?
Hi, I'm Patrick Redding, Creative Director on Gotham Knights. On behalf of the whole team at WB Games Montreal, I'm really honored to give you a quick look at our gameplay.
Feel free. Elliott Center is covered in ice. Whatever's causing this is localized at the top.
We're going to look at a short clip from one of Gotham Knights' villain crimes in a pre-alpha build. This mission is halfway through the Mr. Freeze storyline, and we're playing Batgirl a dozen or so hours into her character progression.
All units at Elliott Center. Air support inbound. Hostiles opening fire on upper floors. Air support, can you do a fly around?
Freeze has recently returned to Gotham with a mysterious agenda that involves manipulating the weather to flash freeze the city.
We need a way to get through that ice.
An important goal for Gotham Knights was that players can play all of the game either solo or in two-player co-op.
If he wants a fight, he'll get it.
We need a tank to get through that much ice.
Robin's learned how to access the Justice League satellite for short-range teleportation.
How are we supposed to stop ice guns?
Meanwhile, Batgirl has mastered some more familiar techniques. And developed a few new ones of her own.
Montoya here. Heard you're down there having some fun.
Fun's one word for it.
Just a heads up, that chopper's under orders to fire on anything that moves inside.
The Gotham City Police. Drop your weapons, or we will open fire. Returning fire!
The storm is getting worse. You need to hurry and find a way inside Elliott Center.
The GCPD chopper made that part easy. This doesn't look up to code. If anyone asks, I meant to do that.
I won't say a word.
Tours were still going on when Freeze came through.
Those poor people. They didn't stand a chance.
Gotham Knights is built to let players approach each challenge with their preferred style and their preferred build.
You know how cold it is up there, right? You want to die of exposure? Be my guest.
This will only take a second.
Check it out. What the hell is she doing? Keep them occupied!
No precision! Bag, you're it! Not the safest time to take the elevator.
You'd rather take the stairs?
These cables on the floor. Guaranteed they lead to Freeze. Belfry, status.
Countless dead, and the temperature's still falling.
We need to stop this. Now.
Belfry wasn't kidding about this storm.
Almost there. I see the weather machine. Ready with the disruptor.
That thing's drawing so much power.
Field disruptors in place. It's charging.
Get away from my storm engine!
That what you're calling it? You don't want to be on the roof when this disruptor goes off. Trust me.
Irrelevant! I already have what I need. The storm has risen over Gotham. Nothing can stop it!
We'll see about that.
You cannot run from me!
An important element of Gotham Knights is that as the player increases in power and ability, their foes keep pace. So confronting a villain like Mr. Freeze can be a very different proposition at level 5 or at level 15. And not just in terms of stats, but in the kinds of attacks and defenses they bring to bear. And that was just a short peek at Gotham Knights. We're going to have more to show you in the future.